The woman bowed in front of the mirror, but her reflection didn't follow her movement. Just as she was feeling confused, another figure suddenly appeared inside the mirror, but when she turned around, there was no one there. Then the figure in the mirror raised a knife and slashed at her. The audience was completely shocked by what they saw. The magician then reached out his hand, and the soul of the person in the mirror began to separate from the body, floating out under the magician's guidance. He recited an incantation, and the soul vanished into thin air. The woman returned to normal, and the magician ended the brilliant performance. The audience gave him a round of applause. Backstage, the prince came to meet the magician, Aizen. He wanted to know the secret behind the magic, but Aizen refused to tell him anything. So the prince didn't give up. He invited Aizen to perform at the royal palace.
And we'll gather our best minds next time. We really have a challenge then.
Then I'll prepare something special. Perhaps I'll make you disappear.
Afterward, the prince ordered a detective to investigate Aizen's background. They discovered that Aizen's real name was Edward. He was born into a poor farming family, but something strange had happened to him when he was very young. He had once met a mysterious magician on the side of the road. With a light wave of his hand, the old man pulled a frog off Edward's shoulder. Then he transformed the frog into a rose, and with another flick, the rose turned into a flute. Edward had never seen anything so magical. Even more amazing, the old man made the flute float in the air, then vanished right in front of him. The tree behind him disappeared as well. From that moment on, Edward fell in love with magic. He practiced constantly, whether at home or walking outside. One day, a count's daughter noticed him. They quickly became close friends. Edward showed Sophie a magic trick, asking her to pick a card and remember it, then place it back in the deck. He not only found her card, he even made it float in midair. Just as Sophie was stunned, her servant came looking for her. Because of Edward's low status, Sophie's family forbade her from seeing him, so they could only meet in secret. They built a secret hideout together, and eventually fell in love. Edward handcrafted a necklace for Sophie, which turned into a heart when flipped over, and contained a tiny photo of him inside. But not long after, their secret was discovered. Sophie was forcibly taken home, and Edward never saw her again. After that, he changed his name to Aizen, and moved to a new city to continue performing magic. One time, he borrowed a handkerchief from the audience, and placed it into a small box. He then sliced open an orange, took out the seeds, and planted one in a pot. Miraculously, the seed grew rapidly, and produced a fresh orange on the spot. Edward picked the fruit and tossed it to the crowd. Then he asked where the handkerchief was. When the woman opened the box, she found it had disappeared. At that moment, Aizen had two butterflies gently carry the handkerchief back to the stage. The crowd erupted in applause. Aizen quickly became the most famous magician in the city. He was featured in news reports everywhere. The prince heard about him as well, and came to watch his show in person. During the performance, Aizen invited the prince's fiancée to join him on stage, but to his surprise, the prince's fiancée was Sophie.